Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 48 based on novel. So let's start. As the spatial vortex near the chest of the stone figure slowly took shape, upon closer inspection, one would be able to see lightning sparks dancing within it. In the next instant, an indescribably ancient and boundless aura faintly appeared as it radiated out. Under its encompass, everyone within the Great Hall could feel a shiver deep within their souls. What exactly is inside that space? It can actually produce such frightening fluctuations, some experts exclaimed in shock as they stared at the vortex. This aura. Lin Dong was also staring at the spatial vortex with a fiery expression. Right now, even a man as dignified as him involuntarily felt an overwhelming wave of excitement swelling in his heart. Meanwhile, after detecting the fluctuations radiating from it, he could clearly feel his devouring ancestral symbol emit a clear humming sound. After so many years, this was the first time that the devouring ancestral symbol had produced such a joyous and reminiscing noise. Evidently, besides the thunderbolt ancestral symbol, one of its 8 fellow great ancestral symbols, which other object could incite such a reaction from the devouring ancestral symbol? As the boundless aura radiated across the entire Great Hall and shocked everyone, the Great Hall remained deathly silent for a while. Even those experts that have scattered to hunt for other treasures stopped in their tracks, casting their shocked gazes towards the spatial vortex that had just appeared. Huff. After quite a while, Lin Dong gradually regained his senses. Gently exhaling a breath of air, he turned his sparkling eyes towards the 3 silver towers that had fused together. At the moment, they had transformed into an unusual silver rune. Lightning patterns covered the rune while lightning bolts arced and danced around it. Lin Dong gently clenched his fist. The information he obtained from Zhuofei told him that besides unlocking the thunderworld, whoever controlled the silver tower keys would also be able to control the so-called thunderworld. Furthermore, only by controlling the thunderworld can one obtain the thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Therefore, he had to obtain this silver rune. Lin Dong didn't know if others were aware about this piece of information. Nonetheless, if there were others who were aware, it would make it much more difficult for him to obtain this silver rune. Regardless, Lin Dong will take action to obtain it. With this thought flashing in his mind, Lin Dong's eyes turned sharp and fierce instantly. A pair of gigantic green dragon wings appeared and unfurled from his back. Transforming into a streak of green light, he flew straight towards the silver rune. The instant Lin Dong made his move, everyone noticed it instantly. However, upon noticing that Lin Dong's goal wasn't to head straight into the thunderworld, but towards the silver rune instead, everyone gawked for a moment. Right now, the thunderworld was already open. Hence, those silver towers keys should be useless. However, why did Lin Dong choose to make a move on them first? Nevertheless, everyone present here were not idiots. With some quick thinking, they were able to decipher some clues as well. It seems like this silver rune wasn't as useless as they had thought. Your greed is insatiable, brat. The grey-haired old man took the lead and roared out in fury. Although he did not know what the silver rune could be used for, his years of experience told him that it was best to prevent Lin Dong from obtaining it. Therefore, after his roaring voice rang out, a fist rumbled out from him. Berserk gales mixed with dense death chi swept towards Lin Dong. Bang! As his attack rumbled straight towards Lin Dong, a petite little figure immediately shot out. With a lovable roar, the life-death coffin cover in her hand violently rumbled out, stopping the grey-haired old man's attacks right in its tracks. You damned lass! When he saw that Mu Lingshan had taken action to obstruct his attacks, the grey-haired old man was so furious that he clenched and gnashed his teeth. Although the former's strength was only at perfect profound life stage, thanks to her formidable coffin cover, she did not have to fear him at all. With Mu Lingshan blocking the way, Lin Dong was able to reach the silver rune one step before anyone else. You will stop! As a roar rang out once again from behind, Lin Dong didn't bother turning his head around. This time, the person who made a move was Hui Yuan. From the fury contained within his roar, everyone now knew how important the silver rune was. Swish! With a wave of his sleeve, the heavenly devouring corpse shot out, rushing straight towards Hui Yuan to obstruct him. Extending his palm out, Lin Dong's hand pierced through the lightning, before he grabbed onto the silver rune. Obtaining the silver rune wasn't as hard as he had imagined. Obviously, it was because the rest did not know about its value. Therefore, the foreheads of some people only started to wrinkle and knit up when they saw that he had obtained the silver rune. Lin Dong, that silver rune is formed by the 3 silver towers. Do you dare to claim it for yourself? Pang Hao roared out, furious to the point of his face turning green. Brother Lin Dong, your actions are a little too overbearing. Liu Xiangshuan added, while knitting her eyebrows slightly, her gentle voice containing some displeasure. Lin Dong, hand over the silver rune. If not, I'm afraid that you'll become the public enemy. Hui Yuan chimed in with his indifferent tone. Upon hearing their words, the majority of the experts in the Great Hall stared at Lin Dong with ill intent. After entering the cave dwelling, Lin Dong's had a pretty bountiful harvest. Previously, he even obtained the Lightning Emperor Scepter, which had invoked their greed and jealousy of quite a number of onlookers. Hence, with a primer in place, it might be possible to tug at the greed in their hearts and incite them to attack him. However, a blind eye was cast to those gazes by Lin Dong, who replied in an apathetic tone. If anyone here can afford the time to tango with me, I've got nothing to say. However, wouldn't all of you regret if something were to happen to the treasures in that space, right? From the previous words being shouted out, Lin Dong could faintly discern and guess that no one was aware of the properties of the silver rune, which could control the thunderworld. If not, their reactions would definitely be countless times more intense than this. After hearing Lin Dong's words, the expressions on Pang Hao and the rest's faces changed faintly, as they involuntarily turned their attention to the spatial vortex. The boundless fluctuations radiating out of it was countless times stronger than the Lightning Emperor Scepter. Obviously, what was inside that space was the most precious treasure in this cave dwelling. Go, let's go. Exchanging gazes with one another, Pang Hao and the other experts shot forwards, heading straight towards the spatial vortex. Regardless, they had to see what's exactly inside that space first. The majority of the experts within the Great Hall seemingly shot forth simultaneously, causing Lin Dong to smile faintly upon seeing it. With the silver rune in his hands, he could control that space. Once he entered that space, he no longer had to fear any of them. Even if they were to gang up on him, Lin Dong was still able to deal with them. Pang Hao and the other experts were extremely fast, appearing before the spatial vortex in a flash. However, just as they were about to rush into it, a helpless sigh resounded across the Great Hall. Upon hearing the sigh, Lin Dong's eyes instantly contacted. He immediately turned his gaze around, only to see a figure wrapped in red robes suddenly appearing mysteriously in front of the spatial vortex. The treasure hunt in this cave dwelling ends here. Gentlemen, you can all leave now. Upon his appearance, an indifferent voice rang out. His voice contained an authoritative tone. You courting death? The sudden appearance of the red-robed figure shocked Pang Hao and the other experts. However, after hearing his words, great rage and fury erupted in them, resulting in numerous experts simultaneously taking action. In the next instant, swift and fierce attacks violently howled as they shot straight at the red-robed figure. Facing the incoming attacks, the red-robed figure showed no signs of evasion. Raising his head faintly, the silhouette of a face appeared within the shadows of his mantle. A bunch of ignorant fellows. Raising his hand, the red-robed man flicked his finger, causing a flame halo to erupt abruptly from it. Upon making contact with it, the numerous fearsome attacks instantly dissipated into thin air. Bang! As the fiery wave swept forth, the faces of Pang Hao and all the other experts instantly turned deathly pale. In the next instant, with a loud bang, all of them were sent flying back miserably. This time, even the grey-haired old man, who was profound death stage expert, was sent flying back. Shock filled Lin Dong's face as he stared at the scene unveiling before him. This red-robed man was obviously the fellow that he had met previously. However, never did he imagine that the latter actually possessed such strength. With a flick of his wrist, he was able to send every expert here flying. Just how powerful is he? Wasn't it said that people who were too powerful were unable to enter the Heavenly Lightning Sea region? After a crushing defeat, Pang Hao, Liu Xiangshuan, Wei Yuan, and the rest of the experts stabilized their bodies, before they stared in shock at the red-robed man. "May I know who exactly you are, esteemed sir? This cave dwelling is the goal of our 9 Serene Gate and the mysterious Sky Hall. Could it be that this esteemed gentleman wants to upset both our factions with your actions?" The grey-haired old man fiercely shouted. "If you want us to leave the cave dwelling, you'll have to show us that you possess the qualifications." The middle-aged male from the mysterious Sky Hall spoke out in a deep voice. "Qualifications, huh?" Hearing those words, the red-robed man seemingly started smiling, before extending his hand. In front of everyone, the red mantle covering him was slowly lifted back, before his face appeared in front of everyone. "Even if those 2 old fogies from your 9 Serene Gate or the mysterious Sky Hall are present, if I ask them to scram, they'll scram." The face that appeared was rather boorish-looking, with a thick set of eyebrows present on his forehead. An overbearing spirit that could seemingly burn the entire world was present, while a symbol of a flame sparkled with a particular brilliance at the center of his forehead. Upon seeing that face with a flaming symbol, the faces of the grey-haired old man and everyone else instantly turned miserably pale. Dread and terror erupted from their eyes, as their sharp and incisive voices changed as they rang out within the great hall. "Master of the Flame Divine Hall, Moluo." The grey-haired old man's sharp voice spread throughout the hall in a piercing manner, causing thick shock to be revealed on everyone's faces. Many pairs of eyes contained fear as they looked at the red-robed man standing in front of the spatial vortex. Moluo. An extremely well-known name within the chaotic demon sea. This Moluo was definitely one of the strongest existences amongst the peak experts of the chaotic demon sea. His Flame Divine Hall was the undisputed overlord of the Flame Sea region and was a famous hegemon-like existence within this chaotic demon sea. From a certain point of view, the Flame Divine Hall was even stronger than the 9 Serene Gate and the mysterious Sky Hall. There was hardly any factions in the entire chaotic demon sea which dared to offend the Flame Divine Hall. All of this was because the Flame Divine Hall had an overlord called Moluo. Moluo's strength was at the Samsara stage. This strength was something that most of the leaders of the various large factions in the chaotic demon sea had. However, there was not a single Samsara stage expert in this chaotic demon sea who dared to be insolent or domineering in front of Moluo. This was because Moluo controlled of one of the 8 great ancestral symbols. The blazing ancestral symbol. It was only possible to fully unleash the strength of the ancestral symbol after reaching their level. When such power was displayed, its might would shake the world. This was something that could be seen from that lightning emperor. He also possessed the strength of the Samsara stage. However, those Yimo had to dispatch a king-level Yimo and 3 general-level Yimo in order to deal with him. In human cultivation levels, this would be equivalent to a reincarnation stage and 3 Samsara stage experts. Even though this was the case, the 3 general-level Yimo were directly killed by the Lightning Emperor, while the king-level Yimo was also sealed. From this, it was possible to see just how terrifying a Samsara stage expert controlling an ancestral symbol was. Back then at the unique Devil City, even the 3 great sect masters of the Yuan Gate did not dare to offend the Master of the Darkness Palace when he appeared. This was partly because they did not wish to offend the Darkness Palace, but a bigger factor was because the Master of the Darkness Palace controlled one of the 8 great ancestral symbols, the Darkness Ancestral Symbol. The Chen Yuanzi trio clearly understood that even if they were to join hands, their chances of defeating the Master of the Darkness Palace, who possessed the Darkness Ancestral Symbol, was extremely low. Moluo of the Chaotic Demon Sea was an existence similar to the Master of the Darkness Palace. Within the Chaotic Demon Sea, one would hardly meet these ultimate Samsara stage experts. All of them were titans in their own right. Someone like Moluo, who was a Samsara stage expert in possession of an ancestral symbol, existed merely in legends. However, such a legendary person had actually appeared before everyone within this large hall. Such shock was indeed incomparable. The entire hall had become completely silent in the face of Moluo's tyrannical words. Even the grey-haired old man did not dare say anything. This was because they clearly understood that what Moluo said was correct. Forget about these people here. Even if the chiefs of the 2 great factions had come, they still would not dare to say no to Moluo. I never imagined that he is actually Moluo. There was also shock in Lin Dong's eyes, and it was a long while later before he gradually recovered as his hands involuntarily clenched. This was the first time he had met another ancestral symbol after so many years. However, the reputation of this ancestral symbol owner was far from what Lin Dong could compare with. He involuntarily laughed bitterly upon thinking of this. However, determination surfaced from the depths of his eyes. He ultimately believed that sooner or later, he would also be able to reach this stage. However, he still required time. Lord Moluo. The silence within the hall continued for a moment, before the grey-haired old man finally moved his somewhat dry mouth and respectfully said, "Great One, our 9 Serene Gate has paid a great price to search for treasure this time. I hope that on the account of our chief, your esteemed self." This old man possessed quite a high status within the 9 Serene Gate. His profound death stage strength allowed him to have quite a high position in the chaotic demon sea. However, he appeared unusually humble in front of Moluo. This was because he clearly understood that this man before them would have an extremely easy time killing him. The object within the thunderworld is not something that any of you can touch. Recklessly barging in will only bring about a great disaster to your sect. Moluo glanced at the grey-haired old man and spoke in a faint voice. Horror surged out from within the eyes of the grey-haired old man and the others after these words sounded. Given Moluo's status, there was naturally no reason to lie to them. In that case, just what was within the thunderworld that even the faction behind them could not handle? May I ask Lord Moluo just what is inside the thunderworld? Hui Yuan's eyes flashed as he asked. Moluo's eyes swept over Hui Yuan as he knitted his brows slightly. There was a feeling that he did not like from the latter's body. However, he was unable to detect the origin of this feeling at this moment. Hui Yuan felt Moluo's gaze slowly sweep over his body as cold sweat appeared on his back. His face was lowered and the black light deep within his eyes was also firmly suppressed. This observation merely lasted for a couple of seconds. Hui Yuan felt as though he was lucky to escape alive after Moluo's eyes shifted away. He clenched his hand, which was drenched in perspiration. Do not ask questions that you should not. Moluo withdrew his gaze from Hui Yuan. Although he was unable to detect the source of that feeling, Moluo did not give Hui Yan any face at all. He waved his hand somewhat impatiently and said, "All right, I do not have time to waste with all of you. This treasure-seeking journey will end here. All of you will immediately leave the cave dwelling." The grey-haired old man, Liu Xiangshuan, Hui Yuan, and the others immediately had an unnatural expression upon hearing this. However, they did not dare to voice any objection. The strength of the person before them was far from what they could fight against. Nevertheless, they were also a little unwilling to simply withdraw at this moment. Lin Dong also knitted his brow tightly at this moment. He tightly grasped the silver symbol which was flickering with a lightning glow. This turn of events had far exceeded his expectations. He never imagined that such a frightening individual would suddenly appear just as he was about to see the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. He had put in many years of effort in order to obtain this Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. It was impossible for him to simply give up. "Hey, aren't you a little too overbearing? This place doesn't belong to you. What right do you have to ask us to leave?" While Lin Dong was frowning, Mu Lingshan opened her mouth and spoke in a displeased manner. Others might be afraid of Moluo, but she was not too fearful of him. Her immortal Sage Whale clan background allowed her to have such boldness. After all, the strongest faction within this chaotic demon sea would always be the Sea Demon tribe. The grey-haired old man quietly gloated after seeing that Mu Lingshan dared to speak in such a manner towards Moluo. He quietly cursed this death-seeking girl. While they were anticipating Moluo to display his fury, Moluo however merely glanced at Mu Lingshan before immediately curling his mouth as he replied, "Little girl, you should go home and obediently stay there. Don't come out and cause chaos. I did not bully anyone." The grey-haired old man and the others were flabbergasted. Why did the usually overbearing Moluo, who always did things his way, speak in such a manner? Upon seeing this, Lin Dong understood that this Moluo had clearly discovered Mu Lingshan's immortal Sage Whale clan identity. However, when he saw that Mu Lingshan was about to retort, he quickly stopped her. After which, he cupped his hands together and said, "Lord Moluo, I am aware of what is inside this thunder world." The grey-haired old man, Liu Xiangshuan, and the others were startled after hearing these words. Their eyes were thrown towards Lin Dong. Clearly, they did not expect that the latter actually possessed such information. Oh! Mu Luo's eyes flashed for a moment. Soon after, his eyes paused on Lin Dong. After which, he moved and appeared beside the latter as his hand landed onto Lin Dong's arm. An incomparably hot energy suddenly charged into Lin Dong's body like a wild beast after the hand landed on Lin Dong's arm. That feeling was as though magma had entered his body. The power of the blazing ancestral symbol. Lin Dong was greatly startled when the energy invaded his body. The devouring ancestral symbol in his Niwen palace instantly began to rotate. Devouring power swept out and devoured the hot energy that had invaded his body in a somewhat miserable fashion. I see. Moluo released Lin Dong's arm when the latter activated the devouring power. Those somewhat crimson eyes revealed an extremely rich shock and an indescribable look. Lin Dong cautiously stared at Moluo. He understood that the latter had detected the devouring ancestral symbol from their momentary contact earlier. "You are Lin Dong?" Lin Dong was slightly startled upon hearing Moluo's words. The latter's tone was extremely strange. It was as though he had heard of Lin Dong's name long before this. "Yes." Lin Dong nodded slightly. "No wonder you are able to remove the Yimo Qi." Moluo's expression was strange. Soon after, he turned towards the spatial vortex. After musing for a moment, he nodded his head and declared in front of the stunned eyes of the grey-haired old man and the others, "Follow me into the thunder world." Wild joy immediately appeared within Lin Dong's eyes after he heard this. He did not know why Moluo would agree to allow him to enter the thunder world. However, it was fine as long as he could enter. Only by entering the thunder world would it be possible for him to control the place. This would subsequently allow him a small leverage against this Moluo. "All right." Hence, Lin Dong nodded without hesitation after Moluo's word sounded. The surroundings experts in the large hall were all stunned at the scene in front of them. Never did they imagine that this domineering Moluo would actually allow Lin Dong to enter. Esteemed one. The grey-haired old man involuntarily parted his mouth as he tried to speak up. However, before he could finish his sentence, Moluo immediately turned and stared at him. A red glow flickered in his scarlet-red eyes, sufficiently frightening the grey-haired man into quickly shutting his mouth. "I have already spoken. Anyone else who dares to enter the thunder world will die." Moluo's eyes slowly swept over the many experts present in the hall. His indifferent voice caused their scalps to turn numb. However, no one dared to retort. Even the Hui Yuan trio, whom now wore gloomy expression on their faces, did not dare to speak up. "I also wish to enter." Mu Lingshan curled her small mouth and said. Lin Dong nodded gently. He was a little worried about leaving Mu Lingshan alone in this place. After all, the mysterious Sky Hall, 9 Serene Gate, Hui Yuan, and the rest, had malicious intent towards him. Hence, they might end up dragging Mu Lingshan into the fight because of this. "All right." Moluo hesitated for a moment before nodding. Without further ado, he turned around and headed into the spatial vortex. "Let's go." Lin Dong cried out softly towards Mu Lingshan before he also quickly followed behind. Both of them turned into two rays of bright light, which closely followed Moluo and entered the spatial vortex in front of countless pairs of jealous eyes. Buzz! A red light suddenly surged on the swirl after the trio entered. Immediately, crimson flames rose and spread, covering the entire swirl. Clearly, Moluo had sealed the entrance. As such, this completely dismissed the possibility for anyone else to enter the swirl. Damn it! The grey-haired old man and the others were so furious that their faces turned green upon witnessing this scene. Fury flashed across their eyes as they involuntarily cursed. Just as they were about to reach the prized treasure hidden in the deepest part of the cave, Moluo's appearance stripped them of the rights to do so. How could this not drive them insane? Although they were furious, none of them could resist under Moluo's pressure. Hence, all they could do now was to stare at spatial entrance, which was now sealed by flames, and wallow in despair. Bang! Everything in Lin Dong's vision turned dark the moment he charged into the spatial vortex. In an instant, a glaring silver light suddenly appeared in his vision. Soon after, a continuous stream of thunder, accompanied by an indescribable might, reverberated beside Lin Dong's ears. Lin Dong's narrowed eyes slowly widened up. After which, he surveyed this seemingly endless vast space that had appeared before his eyes. This was the thunderworld. Countless 100,000 feet large thunderbolts, that looked like ancient lightning dragons, whistled and flashed across this place. Suddenly, a thunder roar spread, making this scene so spectacular that it could not be described with words. This is the thunderworld, huh? Lin Dong lifted his head. His dark black eyes reflected countless number of thunderbolts. He quickly inhaled a deep breath of air as he muttered. Yes. This is the thunder world created by the owner of the thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Standing in front of him, Moluo calmly surveyed the thunder world. Those thunderbolts, that were powerful enough to reduce a profound death stage expert into dust, would automatically disappear when they landed within 1,000 feet radius around him. Lin Dong, I need your help. Moluo turned his head, looked at Lin Dong and said. Lin Dong was startled upon hearing this. Given his current strength, what could he possibly do for Moluo? Since you are aware of the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol, I believe that you should also know why this cave was wrecked till such an extent, am I right? Moluo asked. It is because of the Yimos, Lin Dong nodded and replied. There was a king grade and 3 general grade Yimos who attacked the lightning cave back then. The 3 general grade Yimos were killed by the lightning emperor, while the king grade Yimo was sealed by him. The goal of my trip is that sealed king grade Yimo. Moluo spoke casually. Elder Moluo is planning on killing the sealed king grade Yimo. Lin Dong's heart shuddered as he spoke in a startled voice. Moluo slowly nodded. Both his eyes were scarlet red as he stared at the deep parts of this thunder world. He said, since you are the devouring ancestral symbol's owner, it is likely that you should know about the Yimo. These creatures do not belong on our plane. They are natural-born destroyers and they are the common enemies of everyone in this plane. Lin Dong nodded. He was aware of the terrifying erosion properties these Yimo had based on some of the memory fragments from the ancient times. These Yimo are not only powerful, but they are also extremely tough. It is no easy feat to kill them. And Yimo, which had stepped into the king grade, is even harder to kill. Lin Dong mused and said, in order to kill an Yimo of such level, it seems like it will require the strength of 2 ancestral symbols. This piece of information was naturally something that Lin Dong had obtained from the Great Desolate Tablet. Moreover, he had even promised the latter that he would find a second ancestral symbol and head back to help it completely eliminate the king grade Yimo sealed within the Great Desolate Tablet. Since you possess the devouring ancestral symbol, together with my blazing ancestral symbol, we should be able to kill that king grade Yimo. Moluo nodded and replied. Cold sweat appeared on Lin Dong's head. Moluo truly thought too highly of him. He actually wanted him to assist him in killing a king grade Yimo. That was a reincarnation stage expert. Relax, that king level Yimo has already been sealed for thousands of years. Although it is still alive, its strength has been greatly reduced. I will be the main attacker this time around. All you need to do is to assist me from the side. Moluo said after seemingly having spotted the uncertainty in Lin Dong's heart. Lin Dong nodded. What else could he say now? Moluo did not mention the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol, but Lin Dong understood that Moluo likely had some designs on the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol as well. Moreover, the latter should also be clearly aware that Lin Dong, who possessed the devouring ancestral symbol, had the ability to own multiple ancestral symbols. The offensive strength of the devouring ancestral symbol might not match the blazing ancestral symbol, but it possessed a terrifying ability. That was the ability to absorb other ancestral symbols. The both of them had a tacit understanding and they did not mention what they were going to do with the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. This was because they, the owners of the ancestral symbols, could be considered sworn enemies of the Yimo. Naturally, dealing with the Yimo was the top priority in such a situation. The Thunderbolt ancestral symbol could be discussed after finishing off the King-grade Yimo. Lingshan, be careful. Lin Dong turned his head and reminded Mu Lingshan. Their opponent was not going to be some mediocre pushover. At this moment, a solemn expression uncharacteristically appeared on Mu Lingshan's. It was likely that she had also vaguely detected the dangers of this thunder world. Let's go. Moluo waved his sleeve before a fire sphere spread from within his body. After which, it wrapped the Lin Dong duo inside it. His body moved and he carried the two of them as they rushed towards the deep parts of the thunder world, which was densely packed with lightning. Moluo was extremely fast. He seemed to have teleported as he gradually approached the deep parts of the thunder world within a few minutes. Soon after, the lightning sea region appeared in front of Lin Dong's sight. This lightning sea was vast and boundless, and thunderbolts surged on this sea. There were also silver thunderbolts covering the sky above. The explosive rumbling thunder sound was just like the might of the heavens, stirring one's soul. The bodies of the Lin Dong trio gradually hovered in mid-air above this lightning sea. After which, he lifted his head and saw that the sky above the lightning sea region had a silver-colored altar. The altar had 10,000 lightning steps, and there was a throne located at the peak of the altar. Tens of thousands of lightning fell around the throne and the space was distorted. A human figure seemed to be seated alone on the throne. That human figure did not look extremely muscular, and he even looked a little scrawny. However, this scrawny figure was emitting a terrifying aura that caused even the sky and earth to tremble. That is the owner of the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol, the Lightning Emperor. Lin Dong looked at the figure on the throne. The monstrous aura of the latter, however, was void of life. It was obvious that he was dead. Moluo nodded. However, his eyes were looking at the air above the altar. There was an unknown ripple in his eyes. A thought passed through Lin Dong's heart before he promptly lifted his head. After which, he saw a 10,000 feet large lightning cluster suspended in the distant sky. At a glance, it appeared as though it was a sun created from lightning. Lin Dong could sense an extremely terrifying, yet familiar fluctuation from within the lightning sun. It was Thunderbolt ancestral symbol. Lin Dong's eyes suddenly turned searing hot. This video will end here.